Wonders of Antarctica. Secret places. Only locals know about. Travel guide. Here is something that sounds unreal but is completely true. Less than 1% of Antarctica is ever visited by humans, yet it holds landscapes older than recorded history and quieter than anywhere else on Earth. Most people imagine Antarctica as one endless sheet of ice, flat, white, and empty. That image could not be more incomplete. Beneath that surface are valleys without snow, mountains taller than the Alps, lakes hidden under kilometers of ice, and coastlines where life thrives against every expectation. This is not the Antarctica of postcards or documentaries. This is the Antarctica that scientists, researchers, and long-term residents quietly know, the places that rarely make it into travel conversations but redefine what this continent truly is. McMurdo Dry Valleys. The McMurdo Dry Valleys feel like a mistake in the map, as if someone forgot to finish Antarctica here. No snow blankets the ground, no glaciers dominate the horizon, just exposed earth, frozen rivers, and jagged mountains shaped by wind instead of ice. It is one of the driest places on Earth, even drier than most deserts, and standing here feels less like Antarctica, and more like another planet entirely. The valleys stretch out in muted colors, rusted reds and dusty browns, with ancient glaciers frozen in place like paused waves. What makes this place unsettling and fascinating at the same time is how alive it feels despite the absence of visible life. Scientists have found microorganisms surviving inside rocks and beneath thin layers of ice, quietly existing where nothing should. The silence here is not peaceful, it is absolute, the kind that makes you aware of your own breathing and footsteps. Mount Erebus. Ice caves. At the edge of Ross Island rises Mount Erebus, an active volcano surrounded by ice, already an unusual sight on its own. But hidden beneath its frozen slopes is something even more surreal. The Mount Erebus ice caves are vast networks of tunnels carved by warm volcanic steam, creating glowing chambers of ice that shimmer in shades of blue and gold. Inside these caves, temperatures are warmer than outside, allowing rare forms of microbial life to exist in complete darkness. Light filters through the ice ceiling, creating an atmosphere that feels unreal, almost sacred. Very few people have ever stepped inside these caves, and even fewer understand how delicate and temporary they are. Being here feels like witnessing a secret the Earth never meant to share, a reminder that Antarctica is not frozen in time, but constantly changing beneath its surface. Blood Falls. At first glance, Blood Falls looks like something out of a myth. A deep red stream flows from the face of Taylor Glacier, staining the ice as if it were bleeding. For years, this phenomenon baffled explorers, fueling stories and speculation, until science revealed an even stranger truth. The red color comes from iron-rich water trapped beneath the glacier for millions of years, oxidizing as it reaches the surface. This water has been sealed away from sunlight and oxygen, yet it supports microbial life that survives without photosynthesis. Standing near Blood Falls feels eerie, not because it is frightening, but because it challenges everything we assume about life and survival. It is a visible reminder that Antarctica holds ancient systems still operating beneath the ice, unseen and uninterrupted. The Gamburtsev Subglacial Mountains. Hidden beneath more than a mile of ice lies one of the most shocking discoveries ever made in Antarctica. The Gamburtsev Subglacial Mountains are a massive mountain range, comparable in size to the European Alps, completely buried and invisible from the surface. No peaks break through the ice, no ridgelines hint at their existence, yet they stretch for hundreds of kilometers below. These mountains are believed to play a major role in the formation of the East Antarctic ice sheet, shaping the continent from below like a skeleton beneath skin. Knowing they are there changes how you see Antarctica. Deception Island. Deception Island looks calm from a distance, but it hides a violent past and an unusual present. This horseshoe-shaped island is actually the flooded caldera of an active volcano, allowing ships to sail directly into its center through a narrow entrance known as Neptune's Bellows. Inside, the landscape feels almost surreal. Black volcanic sand beaches steam where geothermal heat warms the ground beneath your feet, while glaciers loom just beyond the shore. Penguins gather along the coastline as if this strange mix of fire and ice were completely normal. The island has been used by whalers, researchers, and explorers, leaving behind ruins that slowly decay into the landscape. It feels alive, unstable, and unforgettable, a place where Antarctica shows its most unpredictable side. Lake Vostok. Buried beneath nearly 4 kilometers of ice lies Lake Vostok, one of the largest subglacial lakes on Earth. This body of water has been sealed off from the surface for at least 15 million years, existing in total darkness under immense pressure. Scientists believe it may contain life forms that evolved entirely separately from the rest of the planet. Just knowing this lake exists beneath your feet changes your understanding of Antarctica completely. It is not just a frozen desert, but a world layered on top of other worlds, each hidden beneath ice. Lake Vostok represents how little we truly know about this continent, and how many secrets remain untouched below the surface. The Ross Sea. Often called the last ocean, the Ross Sea is one of the most pristine marine environments left on Earth. Unlike many other parts of the world, this ecosystem remains largely unchanged by human activity. Beneath the ice-covered waters thrives an explosion of life, from massive phytoplankton blooms to seals, whales, and emperor penguins. The ice itself moves and shifts constantly, creating patterns that look like abstract art from above. Standing near the Ross Sea feels different from other Antarctic coastlines, less barren and more alive. It is a reminder that Antarctica is not just about ice and isolation, but about resilience and abundance in the most extreme conditions imaginable. Ellsworth Mountains. Rising sharply from the ice sheet, the Ellsworth Mountains feel dramatic and sudden, like a hidden fortress revealed only at the last moment. These peaks include Mount Vinson, the highest point in Antarctica, yet the surrounding range remains largely unexplored and rarely discussed. The mountains cast long shadows across the ice, creating stark contrasts between light and darkness that change constantly with the sun. The isolation here is profound. There are no research stations nearby, no signs of human presence, just endless ice and towering rock. It feels raw, untouched, and powerful, as if the land itself has been waiting quietly for centuries. South Georgia Island. South Georgia Island feels like Antarctica's untold chapter, a place that exists on the edge of the continent both geographically and emotionally. Long mountain ranges covered in glaciers rise sharply from the ocean, creating a dramatic skyline that feels almost overwhelming when seen for the first time. The beaches are alive in a way few places on Earth are, packed with thousands of king penguins standing shoulder to shoulder, their calls filling the air, non-stop. Massive elephant seals rest along the shoreline, completely unbothered by the harsh winds and cold spray of the Southern Ocean. If this journey changed the way you see Antarctica, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who thinks Antarctica is just ice. Leave a comment with the place that surprised you the most, and keep exploring the parts of the world that rarely get talked about.